Hey GTA Army, what's up? Welcome back to another amazing episode of Grand Theft Maniac. So guys, in this amazing episode, we are going to discuss GTA San Andreas, 6 tips to get through flight school. Are you guys excited? So let's get started. So keep up with me till the end, comment right below this video, subscribe if you still haven't, and turn on the post notification for more videos. Here are 6 tips to get through flight school. Number 6. Practice flying around before attempting the school. It's possible that most players have already tried flying around in San Andreas before going to flight school. However, in the event that you haven't, it's important to get some practice beforehand so that you don't end up getting caught off guard due to the complexity of some of the tests in this school. While most players can use flight school as an excuse to mess around with the planes and helicopters to get the basic idea of how to move around, it's simply more convenient to apply these learnings through the practical use of these vehicles in the game instead. Of course, there are several legitimate ways to procure these aircraft in the game. Number 5. Use cheats to experiment with different aircraft outside of a main save. Some players might find it rather challenging to get access to a bunch of aircraft in the game, well, before they're supposed to. Thankfully, there's an alternative that these players can use to try out as many planes and helicopters they can get their hands on with the greatest of ease. San Andreas is famous for having a ton of cheats, including the ones that can spawn a bunch of vehicles out of thin air. It's prudent to use these cheats and spawn the vehicles that players want to practice in instead of searching for them all over the map. Players who don't want their main saves to be impacted can choose to try these vehicles on a different save as well. Number 4. Failing a test isn't the end of the world. Failing to accomplish a test in flight school can be pretty frustrating at times. This is especially true for some of the longer tests, where a player's efforts can feel completely fruitless at times. However, this should not be a source of discouragement at all. It's close to impossible to pass any of the tougher flight school tests in one go. Taking these opportunities to learn about the course and figuring out how to succeed on the next try is paramount to flying through these tests without facing too many frustrations in the process. Number 3. There's no need to go beyond a bronze medal. Completionists and most players might force him to cruise over and over again until they get the gold medal. While this might be great to some of the new planes in the airport and attain bragging rights, there's really no other reason to try and secure these trophies. Players need to only get a bronze medal in all tests in order to finish this school. Anything else is optional, and players who might not enjoy the tough nature of this school can choose to completely ignore it altogether. Number 2. Try not to crash your vehicle. Flying a plane isn't really the easiest thing in the world. If anything, inexperienced players might find themselves crashing and swerving around without any clue on how to prevent this from happening. The worst thing that players can do here is to go completely out of control and bang their plane against the surface. For the most part, the game will just boot players back to the test selection screen. However, there's a small chance that the plane might explode and waste players, which is the last thing anyone would want, especially if they're not dating Katie's on and end up losing all their weapons and a substantial sum of money. Number 1. Be calculative with your movements. It's easy to panic while flying a plane in San Andreas. After all, it's not easy to steer a plane due to how tricky the flying controls can be at times. However, that doesn't mean that players should just start moving around at random until they get a grip of flying. Staying calm while flying a plane or helicopter is paramount to succeeding in these tests. Players need to stay collected while flying a plane and not make any erratic movements when they end up failing an objective. This is especially true when it comes to shooting down targets in the helicopter. The smallest discrepancy while angling the helicopter can prove to be a major issue further down the line. So guys, this was all about today's video. Share as much as you can. That really motivates us to create more content for you guys. With this, we end our video.